Under stars and moon, through frost and snow. Red camellia falls in snow. Take this! Cut your hair. Push that snap. Wasn't too bad. Well done. The cold is silent. Frost rests on my blade. Enough talk! Let's go! Restore order! Cycle of yin and yang. Scatter, concentrate. Channel. Breathe. Fire! Turn around! Pretty, right? Obliterate form and spirit. The moment has come. Pay close attention to what I'm saying. As decreed, evil shall turn to dust. The weak spot is here. I don't think I can wait. Don't get careless. Clarity and security. How's that? Your life and fear. Got one for complaints. Got two for a chat. If you spot an ethereal, shout for help. Great. Fire! Evil shall turn to dust. Concentrate. Cycle of yin and yang. The time is now.
This won't take much.
The weak spot is here. Release. It's not over yet.
A complaint? Too late for that.
Yin and yang converge.
Reverse shockwave.
An opening. Shift. Obliterate form and spirit.
The hunt begins. Surprise!
Your life ends here.
The name of the night, adversary!
Evil shall turn to dust.
I'll be fine! Cross fortunes! Split the heavens! Cut through darkness! Stand. Get forward! Nuts are jumping! My God! Radiant cloud! What the hell? Get away! Finish it! Lightning! My blade cuts down evil! My spirit soars in the sky! It's recovered! The Yeshunguang of Yunquai Summit, breaking all illusions! Leave it to me!
Poison!
Frost fortunes! Heavens! Ride the wind!
Rising tide of destiny! Sing!
Here it comes! Stand down! Cut through dirt. The sword follows my will, and winds howl in the heavens! The Qingming's might rends the heavens! I see edge. Frost fortunes! Split the heavens! Where's the ice?
Soldiers! Fight by my side!
Evil retreats. Cut through darkness. Evil retreats. Stand down. The measure of steel slices the world through. Frost fortunes. Let this sword array send you away.